Have you ever had that unusual feeling of living a moment that seems to have happened before? That slight dizziness, as if you were revisiting a forgotten chapter of your own story. Suddenly, a conversation, a place, or even a daily gesture seems familiar to you, although you know with absolute certainty that you have never been there or experienced that. This mysterious and almost magical experience is known as déjà vu. But after all, what lies behind this intriguing phenomenon? Could it be a sign of past lives, a glimpse of parallel universes, or just a small slip of our brain? Let these questions echo in your mind as we dive into the mystery of déjà vu, where memory and reality blur and the very nature of our consciousness is put to the test. Why is it that déjà vu tends to happen more frequently when we are far from home, exploring unknown cities or traveling to exotic destinations? Science shows us that, precisely in situations of novelty, this phenomenon manifests more intensely. At first glance, this seems paradoxical. How can we feel that we have already been in a place where we have never set foot? Researcher Chris Moulin proposes a fascinating explanation. It is in novelty that the brain, overloaded with new information and stimuli, can confuse signals and produce that feeling of familiarity. It's as if, for a brief moment, the brain says, "I know this," while logic responds, "This doesn't make sense." Could déjà vu then be an evolutionary mechanism created to keep us alert and reinforce our ability to adapt to unfamiliar environments? Or is it just a system failure, a kind of short circuit in our perception of reality? Interestingly, déjà vu is more common among young people. Studies show that individuals between 15 and 25 years old report recurring episodes of this phenomenon, often at least once a month. As the years go by, this frequency tends to decrease. Why is that? Perhaps because youth is a phase of discoveries, of unprecedented experiences, in which the brain is especially sensitive to new stimuli and therefore more prone to small confusions between memory and perception. As we age, routine sets in, the repertoire of experiences grows, and perhaps our mind loses some of its ability to be surprised, or to make these cognitive errors that give rise to déjà vu. Could it be that, as we mature, we also lose the ability to marvel at the unexpected? Or is it simply a matter of the brain becoming more efficient, less prone to slips? For the vast majority of people, déjà vu is a fleeting phenomenon that lasts a few seconds and then quickly fades. However, there are cases where it takes on more serious proportions. Imagine living for hours, even days, feeling that everything around you is a repetition of the past. This is what happened to Lisa, a young woman from Manchester, whose experience of déjà vu became so intense and persistent that she began to doubt her own sanity. After numerous tests, Lisa was diagnosed with temporal lobe epilepsy, a neurological condition capable of causing prolonged episodes of illusory familiarity. These extreme cases raise an important question. If déjà vu can be a symptom of a neurological disorder, should we pay more attention when it becomes too frequent or intense? The threshold between the common and the pathological in brain function is thinner than we imagine. But what, after all, happens in the brain during a déjà vu? Neuroscience studies have shown that the phenomenon is linked to improper activation in the temporal lobe, the region responsible for processing memories. It's as if, due to a communication error, the brain creates a false memory, making us believe that we have already experienced that situation. There are, of course, other theories, some more daring, which speak of collisions of parallel universes or even reminiscences of past lives. However, scientific evidence points to a cognitive process in which the brain mixes signals and makes us stumble at the boundaries between past and present. Is déjà vu just an error of our nervous system, or could it be something more? Amid science, a gap of mystery remains, a window open to what we still do not fully understand. Fortunately, our brain is equipped with a sophisticated reality-checking system. When a déjà vu occurs, this mechanism kicks in to alert us. Calm down, this is just an impression. Thus, the feeling of familiarity quickly fades, and we return to the normal flow of consciousness. But have you ever imagined what it would be like to live without this system? Trapped in continuous cycles of false memories, we might become unable to distinguish the real from the illusory, drifting adrift in seas of uncertainty. During a déjà vu, many people report the strange sensation of predicting the future, of knowing what will happen in the next moment. Where does this impression come from? According to Chris Moulin, memory has a fundamental function of predicting consequences, anticipating situations to avoid mistakes and dangers. Déjà vu, in this context, would be just a reflection of this mechanism, a momentary illusion that we are one step ahead in time. But is it really just an illusion? Or, for a brief moment, do we access something that transcends the immediate present? If déjà vu shows us the strange familiarity of the new, there is also its opposite, jamais vu. It is that moment when, even in front of something or someone very familiar, everything seems strange and unknown. Have you ever repeated a word so many times that it loses its meaning and sounds absurd? That is jamais vu in action, a demonstration of how our perception can be easily distorted, becoming fragile and hesitant. What do these phenomena reveal about the reliability of our mind? If reality is so easily manipulated by the brain, can we ever fully trust our memory? The term déjà vu was coined in 1876 by the French parapsychologist Émile Boirac. For a long time, the phenomenon was shrouded in paranormal explanations associated with spiritual and esoteric experiences. Today, science seeks to understand déjà vu as a neurological phenomenon. But by explaining everything, do we not lose part of the beauty and mystery of the human experience? Or perhaps the true beauty lies precisely in uncovering the hidden mechanisms of the mind, making extraordinary what once seemed supernatural. In the end, déjà vu is more than just a little trick of the brain. It is a reminder that our mind is a vast territory, full of enigmas and surprises. It is a door that opens to profound questions. What is memory? What is reality? How far can we trust our own senses? In every episode of Déjà Vu, there is a silent invitation to reflection, a moment when the ordinary becomes extraordinary, and routine is dressed in mystery. And you? When was the last time you experienced déjà vu? What went through your mind at that moment? Perhaps upon recalling it, you realize that behind this sensation, there is not just a brain error, but the spark of something greater, proof that, deep down, the human mind is one of the greatest wonders of the universe. If you liked the video, leave a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more stories where the inexplicable and the real meet.